it seems to me that the reason is because we are not growing the factors of production in agriculture. This is what I'm just thinking.
Sure.
We are not getting the tools that we need in terms of technologies.
Yes.
And we are not investing in the peasant farmers.
No, we're not.
Like human
Exactly.
capital. Is that a rule for that? Can you, or should we just say the reason that's not happening is still because of insecurity?
Well, it's partly that, but you asked me what caused the recession.
Yes.
As an
Start from there,
economist,
yes.
a lot of factors cause recessions.
Okay.
One of them, the government was unlucky. It came at a time when oil prices were collapsing globally.
Yeah.
So that affected revenue.
Okay.
And that was a major factor. But again, the government contributed. In 2015, it took them a good 6 months, and from May to November.
Yes.
6 months before they could constitute a cabinet. That generated a lot of uncertainty and slowed down momentum for growth on its own.
Right.
And you compound that with the collapse in oil prices and the lack of activity, lack of focus for the government. And before you know it, we were in a major recession. And, so a lot of things fall in decline in confidence, worsening business climate, fall in aggregate demand, revenue challenges for the government, and so on. All these factors. And I must say also just the sheer incompetence of the current administration. If truth be told, and we have to be honest with ourselves, here there's a gross incompetence in terms of economic policy management. All these factors contributed to the recession. And the recession we're in is dangerous because, you see, recessions can be V-shaped or W-shaped. A V-shaped recession, you come in, you reach a trough, you go up again, and you continue going up and growing. A W can continue as a W. You make a double dip? Yes, then you go down, you make a double dip, you go down, you go down.
We have a very wide U?
Yes, exactly. Then this is really where we are. We have officially recovered from recession, but it is a very delicate recovery in the sense that anything could trigger, the collapse of the economy again. And unfortunately, we slowed down again, not as bad as last time, but it was only recently that we constituted a cabinet. And that was not good enough. Boris Johnson, the very day he was made prime minister, announced his cabinet. That same day.
But before we came on air, you were saying that the president means well, that he's good, but maybe his team is not so strong. I mean, so if he's good, then how come this disillusionment? How come the people, there's this perplexity to people as to the direction the country is going, if he's good as a person?
Well, one thing is that I think he's not corrupt in the sense that he wouldn't take the people's patrimony to Swiss bank accounts like Abacha and some other people and deposit it there. That one we granted to him. Number two, I think he means well. He genuinely, in his heart, means well for the country. He wants to see the country go forward.
So the problem is the enormity of the problem?
Possibly so. His illness has been paralyzing, demobilizing.
But he's well now.
He is much better now. But he has a very dangerous leadership style. And that is literally sitting back and handing over power to an unelected team of subalterns, which he publicly announced that they are now in charge of, this is who the ministers should report to. So it's as if the buck no longer stops with him. And to me, that is a constitutional abdication of responsibility and mandate.
Is that a constitutional problem or just a style that may not work? I
say constitutionally, he's de facto handing over his power
No,
to
okay,
people that were not elected.
No, but he has not, well, de facto understand. But he could say, or people could argue that that's his style. It's just that it's not a good style.
But it's a very dangerous style.
Yeah, I mean, you could say
because
that, yes.
if you're a true leader, the buck stops with you.
Absolutely.
Magnus, if you're a president tomorrow, the buck stops with you.
Yeah.
In small things as well as in big things.
Yeah.
As leader, you set the tone for the country. You give a vision to the country.
Yeah.
Today we have no vision. Today we have no purpose. We don't even know where we're heading as a country. The leader doesn't engage with the youths, doesn't engage with women's groups, doesn't engage with civil society, doesn't give anybody any hope.
What about at the state level? Okay, let's say this is happening at the federal level.
Yes.
So how come we also have Malays at the state level?
Yes.
I mean, I can't point to a particular state that is stellar in performance.
Absolutely.
So is that the fault of the federal also? That's why we have a type of federal arrangement. We want people to see some states that are exemplary.
Yes.
Are there some states that you can point to as being good examples in terms of strong economic activity?
Well, in terms of improvements in infrastructures,
Okay.
I think that Governor Wike in Rivers
Okay.
he's putting in some efforts.
Okay.
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
This is really where we are.
Let me jump from there because that's pretty deep.
Yes.
Let's go back to the center and look at what the president said a few months ago about poverty.
Sure.
Saying that he believes that we could lift 100 million people out of poverty in 10 years. At the rate that we're growing, well below the population growth rate.
Sure.
We have what I call immiserizing growth, this negative per capita real GDP growth.
Yes.
At this type of pace, with this kind of numbers that we see, can we lift 100 million people out of poverty in 10 years?
I know that is what he said on June 12th. That is what he said on June 12th.
Yes.
But, his speechwriters were very clever.
Okay.
They said, we could lift.
We could, okay.
He didn't say, I will lift.
Okay.
Or we intend to lift.
Yeah.
Two different things.
Okay.
And whichever way he said it, it is easier said than done in our system. It is not enough to just say it. You should demonstrate that you have the framework to implement it.
Yeah.
But that one we have not seen at all. And you are right. Our population grows at 3.2% every year. This year we'll be lucky to get 2% growth. Last year, and annually.
Oh, you mean in GDP?
In GDP.
Real GDP. Okay.
Yeah, real GDP. Mm-hmm. Last year it was it was not even 2%, 1.9. And you see, GDP growth 1.9%, demographic growth 3.2%. So we're really growing negatively.
Yeah.
If you look at it. Absolutely. So there is no how unless we do something drastic.